Ms. Farheen Salman, making tea sustainable.
Thank you so very much. Assalamu alaikum ji. A very, very warm welcome to Pakistan's tea convention, the third one. We are part of a company that a lot of people about 6 months back did not know how to pronounce. So when I would go out in the market, I would hear things like Iktara, I would hear things like Ecoterra, I would hear things like Terra. So for us to have gone in the last 6 months to not only knowing the Tea Association very well, people like Mr. Javed Paracha, people like Abdul Basit, a lot of you here, by the way, Dr. Muni yesterday, these are all people that I actually now can pick up the phone and speak with and just learn and understand the industry better. So what a way that we've come back over the last 6 months of being in Pakistan. Before I start, when I saw the list of very distinguished speakers, I said I can't really compete on knowledge and capability. I mean, when the day starts off with, Mr. Aftab Tapal, you're just thinking, kahan pe tang jati hain, you're just thinking there is no possibility of you being able to do anything at all. So you say, let me just play up with so you then go into your whole kind of, strength building from inexperience, youth. I'm a young person, I'm taking care of an organization. It's a very young organization itself. And then Talha Salim comes in, one speaker before me, and says, here I am, the youngest speaker for the day. And that's another big part of your platform taken away, because I'm not the most experienced. And now, after Talha's presentation, I'm also not the youngest. The one thing I still have as a uniqueness, and I hate drawing upon that, but because there's no uniqueness left, I'll still say that. I am always the only woman. This is the second time I'm presenting at a Pakistan Tea Association or Tea Convention session. I'm always the only woman presenting. And I wish, for me, that's not a sign of great power or that's not a sign of great pride. I do genuinely hope that we can have a Pakistan and we can have a Pakistan Tea Association that gets many more like me up on the stage. So on that basis, guys, let's just start off with exactly. My presentation really is about, now that the name of Ecoterra is recognized and is known by the Pakistani industry, what does Ecoterra stand for? What are we all about? Very simply, we have many companies, and I'm not talking about just tea companies, I'm talking about general food companies that are now talking about, taking less from the land, taking less from the planet. We're taking, as Ecoterra, we are taking that promise a little bit even further. We're not only going to take less from the land, we are actually going to give back to the land. So when I say that we believe in the regenerative power of plants, our commitment at a global level is that we will not only take less, we will actually add back to the planet that we all need to leave in a healthier form for our kids and our grandchildren. So a plant-based company which is looking at a regenerative add back to the earth and the planet. That really is what Ecoterra stands for at a global level. Again, what a unique experience to be part of a company that sits down together and says, we're separating from Unilever. Our brands are very well known. It's a Lipton, it's a Brooke Bond. We need help in naming a company. And I can very proudly tell you that a few of the people from Ecoterra who are in the audience also, we were actually part of the naming of this company. And I just want to spend 1 minute on explaining what that name means. So Eka, or Eka, as a lot of people who do understand either Hindi or Sanskrit would understand, is one, or unity, or togetherness. And Terra is, by the way, both Chinese for nature, and it's also Latin for earth. So One Earth is really what the name of this company stands for in terms of the meaning of our purpose and our being. What is Ecoterra all about? Again, I've been talking about uniqueness from the very beginning. I'm saying this absolutely not from an angle of arrogance or from an angle of being distinctive within this market. I'm saying this from an angle of extreme humility. We do only have one multinational in the tea industry in Pakistan, only one multinational. Ecoterra is globally the single largest. We are 4 times the size of our second competitor at a global level. The biggest global pure play company in the world on tea is Ecoterra, and that's what I very proudly present in front of the tea convention today. There could be many logics of patriotism, of nationalism, and all of us saying, but why do we even need, we're short of dollars. Our dollar has today reached 207. Why do we need a company like Ecoterra to be part of this industry? and be part of this market. And today I'll try to convince you a little bit more about how we need to work hand in hand, you and I, the local companies and us, where we provide you the technology, we provide you with the next step and the way forward for the Pakistani industry, and you, of course, knowing the consumer so very well, bring that to the forefront. We do, by the way, I'll start from the right-hand side of this chart. We do have gorgeous brands. Lipton, Brook Bond, you all know. I'm not too sure how many of you have ever walked into a T2 store. It's on Oxford Street. It's, by the way, in Melbourne. It is in San Francisco at one of the leading malls. It's a retail brand that we have. We sell tea within a retail construct. You will not be able to get T2 in any retail outlets, but our own T2-owned boutiques around the world. We own Pakka, a brand that is coming from every part of the plant and not just the leaf of that plant. It uses the roots, it uses the stems, it uses the flowers, it uses the buds. Tisanes are what they're called. So tisane teas are all under Pakka. At the stall which is right behind this room, I can reassure you, please experiment with the peach variants that we have, experiment with the eucalyptus that we have, experiment with the hibiscus that we have. This industry cannot always be 98% black tea. That is not our role. Our role is to introduce to the Pakistani consumer what is the potential of that beautiful, gorgeous leaf that is called Camellia sinensis. We're head officed out of Netherlands, which is the Dutch background that we have. We have a presence of more than 34 brands. We are number one in more than 58 countries around the world. Unfortunately, Pakistan is not one of those. The whole intent is, and I'm saying this with a lot of awkwardness, with our subs just sitting there, but of course the entire intent is to become number one, and I can only become number one when he becomes a number two. So that really is the intent of Ekaterra itself. We have 12 production centers across about 4 continents, and we have more than 20,000 employees. So while I have a big advantage of being in Pakistan and being the only woman, believe you me, when I step out of Pakistan, there is no uniqueness, and we have many like me within Ekaterra itself. Where did we start this journey? Again, I will first give a Pakistani context before I move into the global context. There are 2 brands in Pakistan that have more than 100 years of experience, expertise, and presence in the market. And I'll repeat that again. Both the brands that proudly Ekaterra has today, Brook Bond as well as Lipton, have been in this world of teas, of expertise, of capability for more than 100 years. Right now, if you count the number of brands we have globally, 4 of our brands are more than 100 years old. So that is really the heritage. And we, as Unilever, as ex-Unilever, Ekaterra kept buying out more brands. So we did go into 1984 and bought out Brook Bond. We then went into 2013 to buy out T2, Tazo, Pakka, and that is a total conglomerate, kind of thinking of, if we're not experts, let's bring the experts in and let's bring them part of our portfolio. With this. So that really is Ekaterra, and while it talked about one planet, one people, one purpose, I'm committing to you that we are one industry of tea in Pakistan, and we want to work very, very closely with the local industry to bring him up and to really introduce the vision of a regenerative world to the consumers in Pakistan. I've already talked about our vision and our mission, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I do think there's a very beautiful analogy that we give on the virtuous cycle of growth. Normally, when you meet a CEO or you meet at least the hardcore young CEOs of the world, they will talk about how their financial model needs to be a virtuous cycle of growth. There's always a lot of emphasis on you grow on volume, you grow on price, you grow on profitability, and then your pockets grow, right? This is a company that's stepping out and saying, just like the roots of a tea plant adds back to the soil that it grows in, the roots, the leaves, the stems are then used by humans to nourish themselves, to rejuvenate themselves, and that is the cycle of life. We're saying we want to run the cycle of our financials exactly like the cycle of life led by a plant. So we do not believe in only that cycle ending when we've made enough profits. It has to keep adding back to that plant, to that soil, to that planet, so it continuously becomes a regenerative cycle that not only in fact, I will not benefit from it. My grandchildren and my great-grandchildren need to benefit from it as we move forward. We have a commitment. We went to COP26, which is a global platform of sustainability. We were there as Ekaterra about 3 months back, and this really is straight from that deck of what we presented globally as our commitment. I don't want to bore you guys too much with a lot of information, but I will tell you the biggest difference between this sustainability program and what we've seen many companies now come up with. A Body Shop, Unilever itself, Reckitt in some pockets, we're a bit different from it because we're not talking about only adding less waste or adding less destruction to the planet. I'm repeating again, we are talking about being climate positive and not climate neutral, and that is a very, very big difference in what we want to do. From nature restoration, which I've just talked about, adding back to the soil, being waste-free, inclusive wellness, thriving communities, resilient livelihoods. I just have one story because I can see a few people looking at these charts and saying, here she goes again, a multinational comes in and just kind of uses words that don't matter at all. I'll give you one story that's very, very close to my heart, and I will then go very quickly through the rest of my deck. We have a factory in Khanewal that, by the way, for Ekaterra, is globally the largest factory in the Ekaterra world for packet teas. A woman, so we had a laborer working at the factory. Unfortunately, at his house, during electrocution, he was checking some stuff, he got electrocuted and he died. He was barely 32 years of age. He had a 1-year-old son and he had a 3-year-old daughter. This is Khanewal, guys. For those of you who don't know Harunabad, you will also not know Khanewal is that small. Ekaterra reached out to his wife, just asked, what all do you know what to do? She said, nothing. I was married at the age of 19. I have 2 kids. I'm a widow. I have no skills at all. We brought her in as a packer. She's been with us for the last 6 months. Her family is being supported by us in terms of education. That woman right now, by the way, has moved from being a packer to being, by the way, on one of the shifts and running machines for us. That is the power of taking care of the communities that we belong to. When I hang around with women like her, there is no difference between somebody in Karachi presenting at the tea convention versus that woman right now running one of our machines in Khanewal. Guys, that is the community that we want to own and bring back to the forefront. I will, though, talk about, there's one bit that really is of pride for us. When you talk about the entire value chain of Ekaterra, when you talk about tea overall value chain, it's not just the procurement, it's the blending, and most importantly, it is the packaging. When a very interesting format was being shown by the Sri Lankan presenter, I don't know how many of you noticed, the spoon was, by the way, the dissolvable part of the tea. That means it's a composite of packaging that is part of what you intake. That is transformational. That is what we need in our markets to be introduced. I'm not saying many people will use it immediately. I'm not saying Pakistan or the housewife in Pakistan will afford it immediately. But if we don't even introduce it, how will this industry ever escalate beyond a cup of tea that they make early morning or in the middle of the day? How will this industry then see anything at all? We are using, and that's the example I wanted to quote, we're using not only organic fertilizers, we are absolutely anti-pesticide. We are not using nitrogen-based fertilizers. We are also using drones to make sure, solar-powered drones, in Kericho, in our plantation in Kenya, to make sure that that is how the spread of fertilizers is done, organic fertilizers is done. Very small part of the change we want to bring in, but can you imagine a farmer who for generations has been using his own hands and his own tractors actually being introduced to that technology? This is, again, a bit interesting, and I will talk about that. By the way, we do have 78% of our tea bags globally totally plant-based. which means there are no staples in them. You can put them in your tea, you throw them, they're totally recyclable. Pakistan is one of those markets that we are very quickly upgrading towards that recyclable complete format. We're actually committing to being 100% by 2025. You look at the box packaging, again, a bit of a struggle. Can be recyclable, can it be reusable? Let's not just get stuck on, it just needs to go into a trash can that's called recyclable and leave it to somebody else to recycle it for us. Can we actually look at tins that are reusable? If nothing else, let that housewife use the same tin and just keep pouring in tea leaves in the same tin again and not have any wastage. I've already talked about an example close to my heart. We're doing this not only for one woman in Khanewal, we're very far behind. Globally, we have an entire garden. For those of you like Dr. David Ichoho, John was here yesterday, one of his team members, Wellesley was here yesterday. We all got together for a meeting. We have an entire plantation by the name of Karicho. We don't just run that plantation to get the best buck out of the money that we're investing. We actually have a school there. We have 3 dispensaries there. We get involved when a wife is beaten up by her husband, and we as Ekaterra get involved and resolve those issues of domestic violence within that plantation. So you go beyond just owning what is my packet of tea and how much money can I make on Lipton. You just own that entire community, and that's what we've started to do. We have some stats here. There's another one that I'm very, very proud of. Our Khanewal factory right now is 70%, and Irfan Bhatti is here, who's my supply chain lead. I hope I don't have this wrong. We are 60 to 8% to 70% solar powered. The entire factory of more than 30,000 tons is run on solar power. We have a commitment of 2025 to actually take it up to the maximum that the government of Pakistan will allow us to make a solar-based or a renewable energy-based factory, which would be about 80%. So it's a few examples closer to heart. We are right now a 98% sustainably sourced tea. Everything that you get in a packet of Lipton or Supreme is 98% sustainably sourced. We're going to make it 100 by the time my stint at least ends in Ekaterra in 2023 or 24. By the way, we are also going at, like I told you, 100% plant-based tea bags by 2025 in Pakistan. Last but absolutely not least, we're committing to introducing this industry to things which are a bit more exciting than a black cup of tea. I think everyone's fighting on it. I'm loving the fact that Vital is giving us a tough time. I'm loving the fact that Aftab Saab is such an inspiration for me personally and is teaching me every day how tea needs to be blended. But I do think there is something that Ekaterra brings to the forefront, which is what local companies can, of course, bring, but it'll be a struggle for them. For us, it's no struggle. Every meeting I sit for at a global level, we talk about purpose, we talk about organics, we talk about, restorative nature. And that is what Ekaterra very, very easily can bring to the Pakistani market. I do have one video. I use that when I see a lot of people falling asleep, and I see a few people falling asleep. Watch a video, but then I will end on the power of getting a global company to understand the local consumer very, very well. And for those of you who might even be working at Tapal or Vital, when somebody asks you, "Chai chahiye?" the answer is always, "Kaun si janab?" And that is Lipton. So I'll just leave you with 2 videos. One a little boring. The next one I'm hoping is Chai Chahiye, so you guys will all, kind of tap your feet at least, and remember to have a great cup of Lipton before you leave. We have a stall right at the back, guys. So there you go. Enjoy
Every
your videos,
cup
please.
does good. From the finest tea leaves in our gardens to the cup in your hands. Every cup is quality with rich flavors and blends created for the perfect taste. Every cup is a journey to support the communities growing our tea, empowering women, enabling access to renewable energy, restoring and nurturing our forest ecosystems so that many more cups can be enjoyed for years to come. Every cup is a smile, a story, a chance of doing something meaningful for our tea farmers, their families, communities, and the world. So join us. Share your own cup of tea.